The late afternoon sun gently filtered through sparse tree canopies, casting a soft golden hue over the dirt road leading into the small village. An elderly woman with silver hair, a weathered face but eyes gleaming with hope, walked slowly, clutching a worn cloth bag tightly in her hands. Inside the bag was a photo, yellowed with time, a picture of a little girl, around 5 years old, with a radiant smile and eyes as clear as morning dew. The old woman stopped in front of the wooden house belonging to the village chief, taking a deep breath before knocking on the door. The village chief, Mr. Tam, a kind-hearted middle-aged man, quickly opened the door. Seeing the unfamiliar elderly woman, he tilted his head slightly, speaking gently. "Who are you looking for? Is there anything I can help you with?" The old woman's hands trembled as she took the photo from her bag and handed it to Mr. Tam. Her voice choked with emotion, as though every word had to overcome years of suppressed sorrow. Do you recognize this girl? She's my daughter. She went missing when she was little. I've searched for her everywhere over the years. Now, I've heard there's a girl in this village named Tieu, around the same age my daughter would be. Please, I beg you, help me find her." Mr. Tam looked at the photo, then at the old woman's tearful eyes. Something stirred within him. Tieu, the gentle girl of the village, beloved by everyone. He nodded, his voice firm. "Come with me. We'll go to Tieu's house right away." Tieu's modest thatched cottage was located at the end of a small path, beside a rice field in full bloom. She was sitting on the porch, mending an old shirt, her expression gentle, yet tinged with an indescribable sadness. Urin, a civil engineer, who had come to the village a few months ago, stood nearby, holding a blueprint, though his eyes never left her. He had fallen in love with Tieu from their very first conversations, captivated by her warm heart and resilience amid life's hardships. Footsteps broke the stillness of the scene. Tieu looked up, seeing the village chief approaching with an elderly woman she didn't recognize. She quickly stood, smiling politely. "Uncle Tam, is there something you need?" The elderly woman looked at Tieu, her eyes beginning to tremble. She stepped closer, barely able to contain herself, her voice shaking. Are you Tieu? Let me see your hand, your left arm." Tieu was puzzled, not understanding what was happening, but she extended her left arm. A small, faint scar, but unmistakably clear, was just below her elbow. The elderly woman's hands quivered as she touched the scar, then took the photo from her bag and held it up to Tieu's face. The image of the little girl from long ago and the young woman before her seemed to merge those eyes, that smile, even the gentle demeanor. "It's you! It's really you!" The old woman burst into tears, her voice breaking. "I've been searching for you for so many years, my child. I am your mother." Tieu stood frozen, her mind spinning. She looked at the elderly woman, then at the photo, her heart overwhelmed by a mix of unfamiliar yet strangely familiar feelings. "Mother? Mother?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Fragmented memories from her childhood came rushing. Back a warm embrace, a soothing lullaby all long obscured by time. Urin, standing nearby, silently observed. He recognized the photo Tieu had once told him about, a single keepsake from her childhood, a picture whose origin she never fully understood. He stepped closer, gently placing a hand on her shoulder, his voice calm and steady. "Tieu, look, carefully. This scar, this photo, I think this is truly your mother. Urin's affirmation was the final drop that broke the dam. Tieu could no longer hold back. She rushed into the elderly woman's arms. Mother and daughter clung to each other, tears streaming down their faces, their sobs mingling with the overwhelming joy of reunion. Mother, oh mother. Tieu wept as years of loneliness and longing dissolved in the warmth of her mother's embrace. The elderly woman stroked her daughter's hair, her voice breaking. I'm so sorry. I lost you. But from now on, I'll never let you suffer again. Under the golden sunset, the entire village seemed to hold its breath, witnessing the sacred moment of reunion. Urin stood there, his own eyes red with emotion. He smiled quietly, his heart swelling with happiness for the woman he loved, who had finally found the home and love she had always deserved. As the sunset faded, night fell, draping the village in a veil of tranquility. In TuTieu's small thatched house, the flickering light of an oil lamp illuminated the tear-streaked faces of a mother and daughter. They sat close together on a bamboo cot, their hands tightly intertwined as if letting go would make everything vanish like a dream. Urin, after quietly brewing a pot of hot tea, set it on the table and spoke softly. Tieu, ma'am, you two talk. I'll step outside to review some drawings. Call me if you need anything. Tieu looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude. She nodded gently, her voice soft but warm. Thank you, Urin. The elderly woman, whom Tieu now knew as Mrs. Han, also glanced at Urin with deep appreciation. Holding her daughter's hand, her voice still trembling with emotion, she said, My dear, I have so much to tell you. Not a single day has passed all these years without me thinking of you. I thought I would never see you again. Tieu lowered her head, her fingers unconsciously touching the scar on her arm. She asked softly, as if afraid to stir up an old pain. Mother, what happened back then? Why did I get separated from you? Mrs. Han took a deep breath, her eyes clouding as she returned to a painful memory. She began to speak, her voice slow, each word heavy with sorrow. You were just 5 years old. We were very poor, living in a remote mountain area far from here. One day, I took you to the district market to sell some vegetables. The crowd was chaotic, and I turned away for just a moment to pay a customer. When I turned back, you were gone. She paused, tears streaming down her face. I searched everywhere, calling your name until my voice was hoarse. I asked everyone, combed through every corner, but no one had seen you. I feared you'd been kidnapped or worse. Tieu tightened her grip on her mother's hand, her heart aching. She couldn't clearly remember those days, only faint fragments of a bustling market and the overwhelming panic of being lost. She whispered, I don't blame you, Mother. I just wish I had found you sooner. Mrs. Han stroked her daughter's hair, her voice softening. After that day, I couldn't stay in the mountains anymore. I traveled everywhere, doing any work I could find, washing dishes, collecting recyclables just to earn enough money to keep searching for you. I held on to this photograph, the only one of you, as my hope that you were still out there somewhere. Then a few months ago, an acquaintance told me about a young woman in this village, hard-working, with a scar just like yours when you were little. I didn't dare hope, but I still came. And the heavens allowed me to find you. The two embraced again, tears flowing freely once more, but now they were tears of joy and healing. Tieu felt the warmth of her mother's presence, a feeling she had longed for throughout her lonely years. She was no longer just a girl struggling to endure hardships. She had a place to belong. On the porch, Urine stood quietly, the pale moonlight illuminating his face. He didn't hear the full story, but from the sobs and fragmented voices, he understood this was a sacred moment for Tieu. He smiled, his heart at ease knowing she had found her family, though a small worry lingered. How would their journey change from here? When the night grew late, Mrs. Han looked around her daughter's humble home. She held Tieu's hand firmly, her voice resolute. "My child, I will stay here with you. I won't let you be alone anymore. No matter how hard life gets, we'll face it together. Will you let me?" Tieu nodded, her eyes shining. "Yes, Mother. I don't want to be apart from you either. Together we'll rebuild everything." The door creaked open, and Urine stepped in with a warm smile. Looking at the two of them, he said half-jokingly, "Well then, my construction team has more work now. This house will need some repairs to make it more comfortable for you and Tieu." Mrs. Han laughed, a sound of genuine joy that hadn't escaped her lips since she entered the village. Tieu blushed, casting Urine a mock glare, though she couldn't hide her happiness. That night, in the small house, for the first